Hello, YouTube. My name is Brit'tany. I'm a gospel artist. I write my own songs, so check me out for that. But anyway, today, what I'm talking about is self-inducing with castor oil. Okay? First off, I'm going to say I'm not a doctor. I'm not a midwife. I'm not a doula. And I'm not a nurse. I'm not anything professional on it. I'm just a mother of 5. Okay? No, 5. This was my 5th pregnancy, and this was my first time trying to induce with castor oil. My first one I was induced medically with because my body wouldn't open up. I hated that so much. I did the epidural. I did not want to, but I did because my husband was like, they're going to keep turning it up. It's going to get worse. You probably want some epidural. I was like, I guess whatever. I shouldn't have done that. Just because I felt like, epidural made it harder for my body to heal because it couldn't do what it was naturally supposed to do. Everything was kind of forced. So that's the only reason why I just feel bad about like when I was induced or whatever. It's not an easy thing to go through. You have to do it when it's like medically, but if it's no medical reason to get like Pitocin and all that stuff pushed into your body, I just suggest you don't do it. That's just my suggestion. Anyway, so with my other 3 pregnancies, everything was cool, good. I had to get my cervix softened with my last one before this one, but everything else was just naturally contractions, all of that. But this baby, I was just like, man, I'm ready to see you. It's my girl. I got 4 boys, and then this one was my girl. And so I was like, dude, I'm ready to meet her and everything, and I don't feel like my body's doing nothing, and we're getting so close, and I don't want to be pregnant for another 2 weeks. I don't want to make it to 42 weeks pregnant. Who want to do that? Nobody. So anyway, 40 weeks, right at. So she was due October 14th. I took 2 ounces of castor oil. I mixed it in with orange juice with pulp because castor oil comes from castor beans. And beans, mess with your small intestine, so it makes you go to the restroom. Okay? So, ladies, be prepared. When you do it, if you do it, you will have to go to the bathroom. Okay? So, I took 2 ounces of it, shook it up vigorously in the orange juice. Try to, get it in there as much as I can. I drank it really fast. Okay? I didn't feel anything, but they do say take a nap. Give it some time. Take a nap. Eat some food. You have to eat because it's not going to work without food. Okay? So, you eat, make sure you're drinking and getting liquids and fluids into your body so that you're not getting dehydrated from the castor oil, okay? Because you will get dehydrated if you, are just going to the bathroom and not replenishing yourself, okay? So, anyway, I ate something. I was like, I'm going to try to take a nap. I got 4 boys. Wasn't no nap happening, y'all. No nap at all. So anyway, I got back up. I was like, man, I ain't feeling nothing yet. Okay, so let me take another ounce of this because I need this to work. So I hurried up, guzzled it down because I didn't want to change my mind, y'all. I was nervous, so I did guzzle it down both times. I was like, I'm nervous, but we're going to do this. So anyway, I did it. Drank that, 3rd ounce or whatever. About 7 something, like 7:43. I started to have to go to the bathroom a lot. Like I said, you will have to go to the bathroom, okay? So I started to go to the bathroom a lot, and you will get tired of the bathroom. After that, I at the same time, actually, contractions and everything. I was feeling all of that all at the same time, okay? So, but once that bathroom stuff kind of calmed down a little bit, me and my husband was like, let's go for a walk because we wanted to keep it going. I wanted to make sure that my contractions would keep going. Okay, so we walked for about 20 minutes, and then I was like, they're close together. Like, should we go? What should we do? Whatever, I don't know. But they were so close together, like about 2 to 3 minutes, 1 minute to 3 minutes, something like that apart. And my husband's like, they're so close. Do you want to, wait? It's like, I don't know. So I just sat there for a while. And they were strong, and they was really close. And so I'm like, okay, let's go, because normally when I wait, I had with my other ones, because it all just kind of started by itself. With my other ones, like my last 3 or 2 that before, anyway, some of those pregnancies, 2 of them at least, started like by themselves at home, to where I got to go through the whole thing at home until I was like, okay, babe, we need to go. And then when we got to the hospital, hopped on the table, bam, there's a baby. Okay, that's how it usually goes when I start at home. And so I'm like, okay, so you don't want me to wait that long. So, okay, we can go. So we went to the hospital. I got in there, they sit you back there to see if you're actually in labor, check you, see how your contractions are. My contractions was pretty good. And like, okay, these are really strong. They're there. Let me check you to see if you dilated. And I was only dilated to a 1. And so there's like, you're only at a 1. We don't know if you want to go home or whatever. But and I'm like, dude, what? She's like, well, just walk around the hospital for a minute and see, what happens. I'm like, okay. So we walking around the hospital. These contractions are strong, y'all. So I'm like, all right, man, something got to happen. I'm praying. I'm determined. It's going to happen. So I don't twerking and doing all that crazy stuff ain't for me, man. I live for Jesus. But anyway, one of the nurses came and she was like, the trick is when you have a contraction, you need to twerk. Okay, just a little bit. And that'll help the baby get down in there. I'm like, okay, twerk. And she's like, yeah, twerk. I'm like, man, all right. So it's just me and my husband in the hallway. I kind of just dip into it a little bit. Now, twerking ain't like all crazy, but it's just kind of bouncing. You know what I mean? Like you just bouncing your hips and you're lowering that baby in. So as I was bouncing, I kind of did a deep squat, a really deep squat. And, I felt that one. And then so I was like, okay, so let's walk around like 3 more times. So we walk around. And I'm walking fast, y'all. I'm not taking my time. You walk fast. Because if you're walking slow, it's just going to kind of relax too much, in my opinion. I did not want to relax. I had to keep my body in it. So anyway, we walked a couple more times, went in the room, sat down. I was like, man, okay, because now I'm tired. I'm getting exhausted. It's a whole nother day. It's like 1 something, 2 something, 3 something in the morning. I don't know what time it is. But anyway, I think it was like 2 something by this time. And she checked me again. And I thought she was just going to be like, oh, you still at a 1? Because I wasn't really feeling too much. I was like, man. So she was like, let me check you. I'm like, all right. And she checks and she's like, you're at a 4. I'm like, yes. Okay. Because that means something. I mean, we progressing. My contractions there. We progressing. I'm like, okay, yo, let's do this. All right, man, let's get up and walk some more. So we get up and walk as they taking me out of the the room to see if I'm actually in labor. They about to move me into a room. I'm getting admitted. I'm like, all right, cool. Okay, so let's walk. I get a tub and everything in there. These midwives be hooking you up. Anyway, so I got a tub and everything. She ran me some water. And, I'm feeling the contractions. They're really strong, but they kind of was too far apart. They was like 5 minutes apart. And they wasn't like, anyway, it wasn't close enough. And so I'm like, dang. So anyway, we get in there, we do a little bit. I'm bouncing on the ball, I'm walking around a little bit more. And then they're like, okay, let's check you again. They check me again. I'm at a 5. I'm like, man. About 40 minutes later, check me again. I'm at a 6. I'm like, okay, so I'm still progressing here, y'all. But my contractions was too far apart. So then they ended up giving me like an ounce or something of something that's like Pitocin. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like Netflix or something like, not Netflix, y'all. No, something else. It's like Pitocin, but it's not Pitocin. They gave me a little of it because they wanted my contractions to be closer together. And they were far apart because my baby girl, she wasn't connected into the pelvis. She didn't engage into my pelvis. So as I was having the contractions while I was walking around, they told me to lift my belly up, and this will help her to go and engage into the pelvis. And it did. So because I did that a couple of times, and you could feel the difference. It does kind of relieve the contractions a little bit when you lift your belly up. So you could try that, if that's ever a thing. But so anyway, she connected and the contractions got closer together. I was trying to sleep, but I couldn't sleep. My husband fell asleep, and I'm like, I could feel that pressure. You're going to feel that pressure. Your body's going to kind of shake in the legs a little bit because it's that time. And so I was like, felt the pressure. I'm like, it's time to push. So I said, baby, get up. You got to push that button. He was like, you think we need to? I'm like, babe, push that button. She coming. It's time to push. And so, yeah, he called him in there. I had my midwife and I had a nurse. That was it, just them two. And she was like, well, let me check you real quick. Because I'm like, I feel it. She was like, let me check you real quick. She hurried up and checked. She was like, excuse me. She was like, yeah, it's time. I was like, okay, I'm pushing. She was like, okay, go ahead. I was like, ooh, push. And then I had to take a break. She was like, are you going to push now or are you going to wait? Because I don't think she know I was pushing already. I was like, okay, I'm going to push now. So I took a breath and I pushed. And my baby came out. And I was like, yeah. She's in there. So anyway, that's my experience with castor oil. It worked for me to kickstart my labor. Always check with your midwife or your doctor, to get that medical advice on what you should do. I was so nervous because I'm like, I didn't want to force anything really to happen that could mess up anything with my baby or with me or whatever. I didn't want to mess us up. I wanted us to go in smooth, whatever. And so, but that is my experience. I prayed before I did it, and I drank that real quick. And my baby here, still got my little baby gut, but she out of there. And she came out 7 pounds and 9 ounces, 20 inches long. That's my baby. I would have put her in here, but I keep trying to do this video and they keep messing me up on it. But anyway, that's my experience with my 5th pregnancy. I induced at home with castor oil to get my labor started. I took it at 3:55 on October 14th, and then I took it, and then I had my baby girl October 15th at 9 a.m. in the morning. Okay, so if you do it, just make sure you ask your doctor and everything what they think about it before you do it, and it'll be all good. But I'm gonna show y'all my baby before I get off of here. Okay. There she is. Hi, baby. All right, y'all. Check me out later.